Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. July, August, and September will be responsible for a big raise to your monthly benefits. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. All right, now this is a very important topic because these 3 months, July, August, and September, will be fully responsible for a huge raise to your monthly benefits, especially right now during this high inflationary time that we're all living through. This is a lot of times music to the ears of all of the beneficiaries, which, by the way, this will impact directly about 70 plus million beneficiaries. A lot of people that this is going to directly impact. Therefore, we need to watch the information coming out of these 3 months very, very closely, as it is going to directly impact your monthly benefits in a positive way. So let's get into it and discuss all these details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side as your one and only daily advocate, doing all the research and breaking everything down into these short videos so that you can stay tuned with everything going on right now during this very busy time as things are changing very, very rapidly. If you've been watching the videos for a while now, you know that for a fact, as I'm back every single day, new things are being announced every single day when it comes to money, benefits, packages, proposals, amendments, checks, stimulus, and so many other things that continue to pop up every single day. But that's why I'm watching everything closely. I'm watching The Wire closely every day, and I'm breaking it all down into these short videos to help you out in any way that I possibly can. And in this video, I do want to specifically talk about those monthly benefits I mentioned just a minute ago. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into these dates and what all of this actually means. All right, so these 3 months, July, August, and September, will directly impact your monthly benefits. Now, I can tell you this much. It's going to be in a good way. The information that will be released as a result of these 3 months will directly impact your benefits in a positive way, and it's going to boost your monthly benefits. This is a good thing. That's why we're watching this very closely. You're probably watching this information closely, just like I'm watching this very closely, as well as so many other analysts and experts out there right now, because this is going to be historic when it comes down to this information. We have not seen information like this in about 40 years. Therefore, it's going to impact your benefit in a pretty big way. And like I've mentioned in other videos, anytime that we talk about your monthly benefit, we're talking about your money, your income, your lifestyle, your future, your bank account. So, as you can probably agree, this is a very important topic, right? Because I do know that a lot of people, and what the statistics are showing, the vast majority of people who do receive fixed income benefits rely on their fixed income benefit solely for the vast majority of their monthly income. So, this is some pretty serious stuff that we're talking about right here. All right, so based on the current information that we've been receiving here over the last few months, it would indicate that this is likely going to be some very, very big numbers that we see coming in through these 3 months, July, August, and September. So let me lay out for you quickly what these months are actually projecting, as far as what these 3 months actually represent, and then what we can actually project as of right now as far as what we can anticipate out of these 3 months. All right, so these 3 months are actually directly related to how the Social Security Administration calculates the annual cost of living adjustment that'll go into effect the following calendar year. So for this year, when we get the information out of these 3 months, July, August, and September, it is going to directly impact how much the raise, the cost of living adjustment, will be for next year in 2023. The same thing happens every single year. So what they do is they look at the inflation data that is released for these 3 months. In other words, Q3, quarter 3 throughout the course of the year. That encompasses July, August, and September. Now, these 3 months, as we look at the inflation data, they take this inflation data and they compare it to the inflation data from the previous year, and that is how they determine how much the raise is going to be for the following year as a result of the annual COLA raise, or cost of living adjustment. So now, as we get into these months, as we know leading up to these months right now, inflation has been very, very high. For the first half of 2022, inflation has been anywhere between just below 8% to mid 8% range. We're going to be getting the next reading here in about a week and a half. So actually, it's about 2 weeks technically from this recording as of right now. We will get the next inflation data that will be released. As a result of that, that's going to be a pretty big announcement. And again, that is going to give us a little bit of a leadway, or kind of of like some leading indicators into what we can anticipate going into the coming months here. So as we do get this inflation data going forward, we're going to start to see, is inflation starting to slow a little bit, or is it continuing to rage on as it has been through virtually the entire first half of 2022? Well, according to what the analysts and what the experts and what everybody is anticipating as of right now, we're actually adjusting for an 8.6% raise to Social Security benefits for 2023, which, by the way, to put that into perspective, this would be the biggest raise that we've seen since 1981. 41 years ago would be the last time that we saw a raise this big. So you can see the importance behind this, because this is going to directly impact your benefit. Now, it is kind of like a positive and a negative. There are some pros and the cons. Number one, there's some pros because your benefit would be increased by a pretty substantial margin going forward. However, the cons may be, this would also indicate that inflation is incredibly high right now, and we all know how the cost of living adjustment doesn't always keep up with the actual cost of living and how much things actually cost going forward. This year, 2022, being a perfect example of that. We got 5.9%, but yet real inflation is more like 8.5%. So we're behind the curve by about 2.5 or even more percentage points as of right now. So you can kind of see it's not really working. However, this would be a good thing going forward because your benefits would be raised by a pretty substantial margin, 8.5% or thereabout, possibly even more, depending on what these numbers actually come in at between these 3 months. And again, that announcement will be coming out officially out of the Social Security Administration as far as what the cost of living adjustment will be for 2023, usually in mid-October. So when we do get that data, of course, I'll be right back here breaking it all down. But the inflation data for these 3 months is actually delayed until the month after. So let me give you a quick example. The inflation data for July will be released in mid-August. The inflation data for August will be released in mid-September. And the inflation data for September will be released in mid-October, which is typically why we do get that announcement out of Social Security in mid-October, because they wait for the inflation data out of September, which again, mid-October, once we get that final number, the final piece of the puzzle, then they can put it all together and they make that announcement. So it's going to be a historic announcement, unless for some weird reason, which I honestly cannot foresee this happening, unless they start to cook the books a little bit and they're not telling us the whole story on inflation. Unless something really weird happens here going forward over the next few months as we work our way through these months, unless something happens where inflation drops by multiple percentage points, I don't foresee that happening. It's very likely that we're going to see a 8% plus COLA raise for 2023. But again, just like always, we won't know until the time actually comes and until we actually get all of that official data. But I can't foresee anything like that actually happening as far as inflation lowering that substantially, unless, like I said, unless they're not telling us the full story behind all the inflation going forward, or as they like to do sometimes, maybe they change the calculation as far as how they adjust for inflation and how they actually do calculate inflation. Who knows? Either way, this is the information that we have as of right now. And again, we've got to watch these 3 months very closely, just like so many other experts and analysts out there right now that have been talking about this and the likely historic raise that we're going to be seeing coming for about 70 plus million beneficiaries receiving all of these benefits. So I can always come back and talk about all of the potential raises that we could be looking at in a separate video, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be pretty substantial when it comes down to it. So either way, I'll continue to be here for you in any way that I possibly can be, but these are the 3 months that we need to watch very closely, pretty much right through the kind of the heat of the summer. These will be those 3 months that indicate what's it going to be. Is it going to be a red hot or white hot cost of living adjustment? Or is it going to be just kind of a mild, not so hot summer? Or, in other words, cost of living adjustment. Either way, it's kind of like one of those things. We wish for a big raise, but at the same time, if we do get a big raise, we're also indicating that, yes, we do understand that that also means that inflation is also very, very high right now. Anyway, only time will tell, but either way, I'll continue to keep an eye on it, and I will keep you posted. I want to make sure that you understand everything that goes on right now, because as I've always said, anything that pertains to your benefits, it also pertains to your money, your bank account, your livelihood, your future, and basically your income. It is very, very important, especially as a fixed income beneficiary who relies on these fixed income benefits as the vast majority of your monthly income. Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and please go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on this channel. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Leave your comments, questions, and feedback down below. And until next time, enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll